Welcome to another episode of the U Spray podcast with Mitch and Toddy. Welcome back, Mr. Toddy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
How you going?
mate, I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah. What's the good word on the street? What do you got?
Man, I'll tell you one thing I'm really excited about. I'm excited about the old Marquis getting down and about for us,
Oh, yeah.
spreading the gospel.
Yeah, Mark. Shout out to Mark Midson, who is our new customer relations manager here at the Spray Gun. So he'll be dealing with customers directly as well as our distributors. So if you see him out and about, make sure you say hi. Mark's been in the industry a long time, starting at Inspirations as an 18-year-old at Warners Bay. He's had stops at Zinza, Dulux, Tyrex. He's been around, so we're lucky to have him on board here. Yeah, you'll see him out and about around the place. You had training last week up in Brizzy. I was unable to make it. How was that?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my favorite part of the job.
Yeah.
People come in, and it's good to see there's an eagerness to learn. And it's amazing how quickly people pick it up. This particular training, we had a couple of DIYs in there as well. Never touched a spray gun before, and it was like, they went from nothing to arguably better than most. It's just amazing how a little bit of direction can save you an enormous amount of trial and error and inconvenience and expensive learning curves. But yeah, so it's really good to see these guys give it a go. It's just wild to me how in general DIYers seem to be way more eager to give it a go. A lot of painters are just old school. I never spray. A brush and roller is faster. I can cut and roll on the trader's best naked spray. You know how it is. It's just you can't teach old dogs new tricks. But yeah, no, it's good. It's easily my most favorite part of the job.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny just what you said about rolling things quicker. So I actually didn't know this, but I was hearing it the other day, but apparently a lot of painters out there actually roll their architraves and door jambs. And I was like sort of stunned, but yeah, apparently they get like little nook and cranny rollers and go around and do door jambs and architraves. And I was just like, yeah, obviously I've only sprayed or brushed them, but yeah, I don't know. I just can't picture them looking that good with being rolled. But apparently a lot of people do it. So I was surprised to hear that. So I'd be I'd be eager to hear if you do roll them, that drop something in the comments on social media or YouTube. Let us know how it looks, or even send me some pictures, because I've never done it. I guess I thought it'd just be too much texture on there and wouldn't look great. There's obviously some frames back in the day that needed to be touched up, and I'd use a nook and cranny light foam roller. Just gives similar texture to the spray finish for touch ups, but same on ceilings.
How do you go about when you're saying before that you typically spray or brush? But let's say you sprayed the job, although you mostly did new work anyway, or repaints anyways, which would have avoided a lot of the aftermath of trainees. But
I did a lot of new work early days. It was only sort of mainly repaints in the back end.
So what would be a process if you had to go back and touch up after a painter, if you've already sprayed it, or after a tile or whatever? If you've sprayed,
if it was a sprayed finish,
yeah.
Oh,
should we do it,
bro? Yes, yeah. It was. It depends how bad it was. Like if it was a one frame here, you could get away with it. Probably just tape it up and spray. It just depends on every job. But to be honest, man, like we spoke about this a number of times, it was just like, insanity. You're just bashing your head against the wall because other trades didn't give a shit. about your work. The builder didn't give a shit about other trades wrecking your work. So it was like the only person that cared about it was me. And then ultimately the only person that cost money was me. So it was like, well, why fucking bother?
Yeah.
Which is disappointing when you're trying to change what you're doing and the finish, and it's not appreciated and it's not looked after. I mean, there was a couple of builders there that really liked the spray finish and would take a lot of care in things. Like we even had a couple of builders that would get like pool noodles and cut them out and put them on every door jamb in the house after we'd sprayed them, just to protect them, which worked pretty well. Yeah. So, and those builders as well made Sparkies put lights in with gloves on, all these kind of extra things. But the job, was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like anything, man. If your boss or who you're working for, the builder or the client, care about that, then it can work. But outside that, it's all about make money, get it done. Painters will fix it. Painters will touch it up. Like, and the expectation of painters, everyone butts heads all the time. It's like, well, someone's dinged the wall. Well, you need to allow for touch ups in your quote. Okay, what about this mark on the wall? Well, just touch it up. I said, like, just touch it up. That's like money. That's eating into your profit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, allow for it in your quote. So then they put you over a barrel, get you to put in your quote, but how much defects does that allow for? Or what if it's you've allowed 8 hours and you go to do it and it's 20 hours?
Yeah.
And then the builder goes, well, told you to allow for it. And it's like, but then you put more on the next job and he says, hey, your price has gone up. So yeah, I'm allowed for that. Well, last one was 21 hours. And then he says, oh, what about if it's 6 hours? It's almost like you can't win. And yeah, talking about this, what really had me done with certain builders that I was working with. I was working for a guy for a couple of years, loading jobs. It was great. Well, it wasn't great. He was so unorganized, but with us on the job, we sort of made it organised. His chippies were pretty good to deal with, but he was just so unorganised. But quoted his work. We did it. Nothing was said about our quotes. It was good. Just put up with it. Shouldn't have went way too long. So after 2 years, there's this massive job, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, look, this isn't going to be fair either way. I'm going to put a heap on it to cover my ass, right? Which is, I could come out of it big, which, he's not going to be necessarily happy with. And if I undercut myself, then I lose. So I don't like to do it, but I said, why don't we just do this on like an hourly rate, do and charge? And he said, fine. And he said, just give me a ballpark. Right? And I hate working on hourly rate. I hate it. Always have, just rather a quote. This is the price. You accept? Yep, that's it. But anyway, did it. And I put in the first invoice, right? And it was like 50 grand. I quoted him on the job. Anyway, put in the first invoice, and it's $70 an hour plus GST, and then paint and materials and stuff on top of that. Okay. So anyway, he calls me, says, mate, I'm not paying that bill. Said, why is that? He said, mate, painters don't get paid $70 an hour. I don't even pay my chippies that. I said, well, that's what I charge. So that's what it is. No, that's ridiculous. I rang up the Master Builders Association. They said painters should only get 55 maximum. I said, well, that's not right. I said, you can charge whatever someone's willing to pay you. Like, not every trade's made equal. Like, if you're a good carpenter, you get $90 or $100 an hour. If you're a bad carpenter, you probably get 60. So, I know tilers that get 60. I know other guys that charge over 100, but they're good. So you're worth what someone's willing to pay you. And the way I've always looked at it, if you're charging out at $70 an hour and you're not getting any work, then you're not worth it. But if you're charging that out and you're getting work, you're worth that. So that's how I always looked at it. So anyway, back to the story with him. I said, man, like, he goes, oh, it's 55 an hour. And he's like, oh, I've rang around and, painters only charge 60 around here. So I'm only going to pay you 60. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, I've been working for you for 2 years, right? Now, when we first started out, you had a couple of painters working for you. 3 jobs in a row, we beat them on price. I don't change my hourly rate whether I'm quoting or doing hourly rate directly. So when I'm working out the job, I work it out on 70 an hour plus materials. Now, you're saying these guys are 60 an hour, right? Maybe think about this. Those guys that we were quoting against at the start when we first worked for you, they probably brush and roll. We probably spray. We're probably quicker and better. So our price, even though I'm working out on 70 an hour and they're working it out on 60 an hour, maybe they take 3 weeks to do the job. Maybe we take 2.5. So it's cheaper. But I haven't changed my pricing on this. We've been working together for 2 years. And he goes, if I knew you were charging me $70 an hour, I wouldn't get you to work for me. I'm like, well, that's silly because I quoted those jobs for you. So you think that I'm quoting these jobs at 55 an hour and then all of a sudden I've just gone to 70 for this hourly rate. I'm just like, man, you cooked. I said you cooked. And so he refused to pay me. He said, I'm only paying 60 an hour. So I won't go into details of the conversations that I had after that. But I did go directly to his office and, said, I want my money. And so anyway, we sorted it out and I said, I'm never working for you again. We're done. And then from that point on, I said, I'm not working for anyone on hourly rate again because and I ballparked that job too. And it was 50 grand and I only invoiced for 30 and we're probably only going to get to 45. So it would have come well under budget. So that left the bad taste in my mouth and I'm just like, I'm not doing hourly rate anymore. I'm not dealing with this. And whenever it's hourly rate work, everything's scrutinized. You weren't there at this time. This guy had 5 minutes more for lunch. Oh, this guy doesn't work hard as this guy. And so anyway, that just really, really pissed me off. Yeah, that's why I stopped doing it.
It's crazy to me too, because it's like when you think about, there's this expectation with painters coming back and touching up and whatever, even though it's clearly not the painter's fault or they didn't actually cause the damage or whatever. And I just think to myself, like, if that's the standard that's accepted, like, why would an electrician give a shit if he dings a wall?
Hmm.
But if it was like, if the builder was to make it clear to these guys, if you damage this paint, it's charging you $1,000 an hour to fix it. We're gonna smash you. Then it's like all those problems are fixed, and probably a lot of jobs will remain under budget because it's like, now you got people that just do a shit job, and then it's like, why does it take them so long? It's like, I'm gonna go back and paint half this building again. And it's like, it's crazy that the painters are kind of left to sort of clean up the mess, and oftentimes at their own costs. And it's like a lot of that could be avoided. And you probably find, the carpenters, the tilers, the carpenter, all these guys would probably do a better job if they were kind of held to a sort of like put in a box per se.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I can imagine there's definitely people out there who go, you see it all the time. To people, it's a parody. Oh, the painter will fix it. It's like they probably genuinely feel that way. So it's like, oh, whoops, I just dropped a hammer off the top story and didn't do a freaking
Oh man,
mailbox, whatever. painter will fix it. It's like, that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, well, I used to hate, like, miters when guys make you patch miters, like, skim them to even them out. I'm like, "You're a carpenter. That's your job. That's what you're paid to do. Make the miters look nice.
Yeah.
Have some pride in your work. It's not my job to fix it." And guys guys will love this one. Like, amount of times, like, the Sparky will come up here, "Oh, sorry, man. I just, yeah, I accidentally cut, like, a dozen light holes out in the wrong place." I was like, "A dozen? Yep. Well, that's awesome." So, meaning you gotta redo ceilings and everything, like, and it's just, it's time, and it's just, it breaks your soul. Like, anyone that's been like, this is why I sympathize with painters on everything, because I've been a painter, I've experienced it, I've had the good, I've had the bad, and painters get shit on all the time, by builders and other trades, and even with certain paint companies, corporates, other competitors of ours, and it's what we do. What we do is to, empower the painters, to get some wins back, and understand that we're put up with a lot for so long. So why don't we stand our ground a bit and change change the narrative of what everyone thinks that they can do to us. And yeah, like that thing I just spoke around, like, oh yeah, just a hole there, or going into a site and you've got like a circle with an X through it that says, "Painter, please patch," with a smiley face. Oh my God. Oh man, it just, yeah, those kind of things, as I said, hurts your soul. A lot of painters know exactly what I'm saying. I feel you. But, and that's not saying that, like, all builders are bad, or other trades. There's a lot of guys out there that care about what they want, but, you know, it's, uh, it's the head of the snake that matters. If the builder or the client, whoever's in charge, isn't the one leading that, then it's not going to improve. And I think people have it backwards, where it's about, worry about the money first, where we can cut corners, how we can make money. Well, I'm like, if you're doing quality work, the money should take care of itself. It's just backwards thinking, I think, by a lot of people. There's the painter rant for me, as you see. I get pretty fired up about this because it's, yeah, I don't miss all of that. But
It's kind of funny too how, like, it's, anyone can, like, like you were saying about before about painters, the painters should be paid this much or blah blah blah. It's like, well, if that's the case, then why did you choose my quote, which is more than that one?
yeah,
If we're all the same, then it's like, there's obviously a reason why you picked that.
yeah, yeah,
And it's just crazy that everyone's put in a box. So I can only imagine just listening to you talk about how, because you give me these, like, get momentum on the job. Bang, 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 loving life. I'm smashed through this job. I'm a week ahead, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah. And you turn a corner and someone just punched a hole through the wall. It's like, oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're like, now I got to be here another week.
yeah.
I'm sure that happens all the time.
Yeah. And I enjoy it. Like, I follow Alex Hormozy and listen to a lot of his stuff and read all his books and that. And the thing about value is, and your price, like, we're in a service based industry, and when it comes to painting, it's like, oh, I only charge $50 an hour. Why? Because that's what I think I'm worth. I'm flat out. I've got a year ahead of me. And, this is stuff that Alex talks about a lot, where he's like, okay, well, if you've got a year ahead of you, it's a supply and demand type thing. So you should probably only have
Mm,
3 months or 6 months ahead.
mm,
So to me, if you're booked out for a year, you're too cheap.
mm.
So what happens if you turn your pricing up, but you've got less work over 6 month period, but your price has gone up? Then you're gonna have less work, but making more money.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is like, how do you know what you're actually worth? Trial it out. If you're always busy, put your price up.
Yeah.
If no one is willing to pay it,
Yeah.
then you do expensive. So your service doesn't match what you're asking, people for. And
It's that concept of like, man, we're so good, everybody loves us. It's like,
yeah,
man, if everybody loves you, you're something's not right.
100%. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
keep thinking about I don't know if you're there or not, but I remember a year or so ago I caught up with another service center around, and I was just picking his brain about what his process was and stuff, and because he couldn't understand why I would bother just swapping pumps all the time.
Mm,
And he's like, "Man, I always repack it." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Cause it's it costs less for the customer." And it's like, "But it takes you 3, 4 hours to do that." He's like, "Yeah, but it's like it's better and it costs them money." So I appreciate the whole thing, like, I'm looking out for these guys, but it's like, if he truly understood his customer, he'd be like, "This guy, he come to me in a rush, needs it done ASAP," but it's like, now it's gonna take him 3 days to get back to the job, or a
yeah.
week to get back to the job, or 4 weeks to get back to the job. And it's like, if they just understood that what we're actually the money doesn't matter right now.
Mm,
It's like but a lot of that comes down to whether or not how invested you are in the business or in the industry. Because like from their point of
mm,
view, it's like if he could, like you said before, like maybe he takes 3 weeks and we do it in 2.5 weeks.
mm,
It's like 2.5 weeks is a big deal for some people.
yeah,
And it's like that's worth paying a bit more extra money,
yeah,
which may in that case be a little bit cheaper.
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I just think there's so many people that are good natured and they feel good by helping people,
Mm,
but I think there's too many people that take advantage of that,
mhm,
and it kind of leaves them in a position where they're 4 weeks behind or they're booked out for a whole year,
mhm,
which they think's great because they have plenty of work on. But it's like, bro, you could be, working half as long, making more money, and having 6 months worth of holidays.
mhm,
Which one's better?
yep,
I have less work. Yeah, but now you got time off. I did. And it's just it's crazy because this whole process with us is I look everywhere I look, I just see there's an opportunity there. And like I was telling you the other day, I was at that lawn mowing place, and on the front counter there's a sign there that says minimum 12-week wait before look at your lawnmower. I just thought, I don't know how much they're charging, but they're not charging enough
mm,
because it's like that's insane.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
imagine owning a lawn mowing business, like 12 weeks straight off the
yep,
bat. And that's probably the same everywhere locally. It's
yep,
just like, man, double your price. Don't be as stressed out. And
yeah,
one of our potentially up and coming service centers are looking to um, add another technician on. And it's like, bro, you can have less technicians, make more money, and do less work.
well, that's it. I think people get caught up in this whole thing. It's about being busy and a lot of work and putting more guys on. That's what it's all about. It's not. It's about how much money you're making.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's all that matters. I talk to guys that they probably tell me too much over time, but they probably do 3x turnover. Um, what I used to do, and we would make more than them, like on a profit percentage. You know what I mean? They're talking like 5, 10%, and we would be making more of them. And it's one of those things, like you need to look at, you know, how big are you getting, what kind of work you're doing, how much risk is involved. Biggest and busier isn't always where it's at. So some people are good at it, and they have a lot of good contracts and everything like that. But in my experience, that's not the case. It's that P&L is what matters, and the profit that you're making in comparison to your sales. So thanks for joining us for another episode of the You Spray podcast. Until next time, keep spraying.